Alright, welcome to my Stamina Nightblade PVP build for Markarth. Jump right into this, buff myself up. And here we go. Here is our base stats. We did have 4300 weapon damage. That fell off because of the weapon damage enchant. 57.5 weapon critical. These are essential. The rest of these stats pretty much stay the same. 13k magicka. Health, we have a little over 25k in Cyrodiil, and just under 30k stamina. 2000 stamina recovery. Our resistances, while buffed, are about 18,000. Physical penetration gets up to 13,000. I know it just dropped. It's kind of finicky with just the buffs and stuff. That's important to know, though. Our physical penetration sits at 13,000 buffed. We have 2400 critical, 2441 critical resistance. I am running the Shadow Mundus for extra critical damage and healing, as well as Artaem takeaway broth that gives us stamina, health, stamina recovery, health recovery. Really synergizes well with this build. I do like running tri-stat food on almost all my builds, but this is the one that Artaem just definitely feels better for. I need a higher stamina recovery. So with that being said, let's jump right into sets. I am running 2 basic sets and a monster set, and then a back bar weapon. Our front bar, we are running Night Mother's Gaze, a sharpened maul with a shock damage enchant for the off balance chance. Night Mother's Gaze, I think, is a very overlooked set. And it synergizes really well with Nightblade. I've kind of thought about trying it on other builds, but with Nightblade, it's just, with all the critical damage that we're doing, it just synergizes so well. So Night Mother gives us weapon critical, 2 slots, and then 1 slot of weapon damage. And then the 5th piece is when you deal critical damage, you apply major breach to the enemy, reducing their physical and spell resistance by about 6,000 for 4 seconds. Remember, we're running 13,000 penetration already. This is another 6,000, and if you look at surprise attack, that gives you another 5% mitigation. We're pushing over 20k physical penetration here, which makes medium and light armor users, reduces their resistances to 0 on most of them. Most of their physical resistances get reduced to 0 when fighting us, so we're just hitting them just with straight damage. And then, because this patch is so tanky, it takes those people with 30k, 40k resistances and cuts them in half or more, so they feel like they're in light or medium armor. It just really, it cuts through people, which is what I love about this build so much. I've tried a lot of other things. I've tried running higher weapon damage, which is cool. Like, I've done things like running, what do you call it? Clever Alk. Yeah, I can push almost 6,000 weapon damage, but the penetration's not there. But anyway, that's our front bar. Sharpened maul, Night Mother. Our other part that's on all the time is Briarheart, which is very similar to Night Mother's Gaze. It has 2 pieces of weapon critical, just like Night Mother's Gaze. It does have stamina instead of weapon damage. But our 5th piece, which is literally looks so identical when you deal critical damage. You look at it when you deal critical damage. So there's no proc chance. It's just when you deal critical damage for both these proc, which is great because you want to be quick in and out really fast with this build. But the 5 piece is when you deal critical damage, you increase your weapon damage by 440 for 10 seconds. While that effect is active, your critical strikes deal you for 375 health, which with 57.5 critical chance, you are critting constantly, so you're getting healed a lot. I think these two just synergize so well in this patch. I'm just very happy. I'm running 3 infused jewelry, which is why our stamina pool is a little bit low. Without it, you hit about 34k stamina, 33k stamina, I would say. But I prefer infused. I have 2 weapon damage enchants and 1 stamina recovery enchant. Yeah, but with that back bar, we are running a Master's Bow infused with a weapon damage enchant, which helps. That's what helps get us our 4,300 max weapon damage. Plus, we get the 330, which doesn't show in our in our stat sheet. When we get another 330 weapon damage against someone affected by our poison arrow, which is the whole reason to run a Master's Bow. The monster set, which I have tested quite a few of, but the one that really set it off for me is Troll King. I've been running Troll King for a little while now. I've tried Bloodspawn, I've tried Baylorg, I've tried running mythic items with one, Dami House. Troll King just feels the best. And the reason is because we are running 5 well-fitted and 2 impen. This is a build that we do not try to tank damage, we do not try to heal through damage, we try to negate damage by roll dodging, by cloaking, by just literally negating damage, doing what Nightblade does best. Another thing to note is I am running 5 medium, and then 1 piece of light and 1 piece of heavy. You could run 5-2, run 5 medium and 2 heavy. I like running 5-1-1 personally. I do have, daunted passives, and the extra magic and health really do help a lot. Also, I'm running all 7 prismatic glyphs. I did run prismatic just on the 3 big pieces for a little while, and then run stamina on the rest, which is doable. I found I was sitting about 24k health and just about was 11.5 magicka, so it just kind of rounded the build out a little bit. Yeah, that's about it for the items. Next we will move on to skills. Mostly standard Nightblade skill setup. A couple of little different things, but we'll jump right into it. Running Relentless Focus, which gives us more critical damage and healing, which synergizes really well with the fact that we're running Shadow, gives us a high critical rating, and also gives you the Assassin Scourge, which is that big burst, and it helps heal you if you're in melee range. Very essential. Rally gives us Major Brutality, which gives us 20% more weapon damage, as well as Minor Endurance, which gives us 20% more stamina recovery, and then that big burst heal depending on how long it's been running. I love the Rally heal. I wouldn't be able to survive half the time without it. The next slot is our flex slot, but I don't really recommend flexing out of it. Camouflage Hunter gives us Major Savagery, which increases our weapon critical, which you can see we don't have it on. We sit at just under 40% critical, which is respectable, but with it we get that 51.5 or 57.5 when fully buffed. I think it's essential. It also helps us it gives us Minor Berserk for 5 seconds if we hit someone from the flank, which we're going to be trying to do anyway because of surprise attacks. So, just synergizes well with the build. Surprise attack is our bread and butter spammable, reduces the physical resistances even more than we already are. It could stun them if you hit them from the flank. Standard Nightblade stuff. Executioner, very self-explanatory, does more damage based on them having less health. Pretty much every Nightblade runs this. You can't argue running the other morph. It does help with some AoE damage. I think Executioner, since you're Nightblade's such a single target, kill and get out kind of class, I think Executioner is better in this situation. I'm running Incapacitating Strike for the ultimate. I've heard the argument for using Soul Harvest and getting that Minor Defile help and reducing their healing. That's your preference. I prefer Incapacitating Strike. Reeve is great for the stamina and Magicka sustain, but the main reason why I prefer Incapacitating Strike is that it is a reliable stun. Surprise Attack is somewhat reliable, but not so much. We have another stun on our back bar, but it is not very reliable. Incapacitating Strike is incredibly reliable, low, ultimate. It doesn't cost a lot, and it works every time. Back bar, we are running Venom Arrow, which is our other stun I was talking about on the back bar. That is it's not incredibly reliable, but it is unexpected for most people. Most people don't expect the Venom Arrow stun. It also sets you off balance, which is amazing. I use this because this build is my one really solo build that I don't really play with other people. I play outnumbered by myself, and Venom Arrow really helps interrupting people when they're trying to do damage to me. Another thing is, say I'm fighting outnumbered and I get a kill, and one of them tries to, res the other player that I just killed. Instead of me having to run up and get right in the middle of it and risk myself to try and interrupt them from doing that, I can just shoot a Venom Arrow at them and it interrupts them trying to res. So I prefer Venom Arrow personally over. You do get more damage out of poison arrow, but I prefer venom arrow. Leeching strikes is for sustain. Amazing ability. You'd be surprised how much healing you actually get out of this. Normal Nightblade stuff though. Shadowy Disguise is our cloak. Helps us synergize with the critical strike, like I said. Shuffle, very, very essential for any medium build. I don't know how people run medium builds without shuffle. The snare and snare and mobilization's immunity is amazing, and then the 20% less damage from area of effect attacks. Everybody's running AoEs right now, and this literally negates 20% of it. It makes us so much more tanky. Resolving Vigor is our heal over time, and Temporal Guard is my back bar ultimate, which is my mostly used for the minor protection, the reduction of 5% damage taken. But it's also a great oh shit button. Just sets you back into a position, and you get your health, stamina, and magicka back to the point they were 4 seconds ago. If you really find yourself in a situation where you're having issues and you really need that oh shit button more, I would recommend using Precognition, the other morph of it, because it just works no matter what. But I don't find myself using Temporal Guard too much. I'm able to negate a lot of damage with roll dodging and with cloaking. It's there for the minor protection more than anything, and the concentrated barrier, which gives you a 5,000 damage shield just by blocking on the bar that you have a Citic Order ability. One thing I forgot to talk about was this flex spot, Camouflage Hunter. If I was to run anything else, which I have, I would run Shadow Image or possibly Mass Hysteria. But I think Camouflage Hunter is just the best option by far here. So we did stats, we did item sets, we did abilities. So the last thing I do is just CP. Got 32 points in the quick recovery for some healing. This is my standard lady tree page. 49 hardy and 49 elemental defender, 37 thick skin. Sometimes I'll put 48 points in here depending on the build, but this is pretty standard. 31 resistant and 72 into ironclad for reduction of direct damage attacks, which is a lot of what we're getting. 56 into mighty, 40 into piercing, and 61 into per strike strikes. This build, I had some points in the thaumaturge, and I had some more points in the physical weapons expert, but I put them all into precise strikes, and I started seeing myself one-shot people. The fact that we're running Shadow Mundus, the fact that we have such high crit chance, the fact that both of our sets proc off of crit damage, just synergize so well to put more points into precise strikes. I've debated putting even more into it, but this seems like the healthy medium. You have 72 points in the Master of Arms because we are doing majority direct damage attacks, 18 points in the physical weapons expert because we are weaving light and heavy attacks, and then 23 points in the blast just for some extra healing. Like I said, this is a build where we are going to be roll dodging a lot, trying to negate damage with shade and with roll dodge, with cloak and with roll dodge, opposed to trying to tank or heal through damage. So I don't have a lot of points in the Shadow Ward. It's a couple for, those meteors that come down on you, you just gotta block. And then I have 66 points into tumbling for the roll dodging. We are gonna be roll dodging like crazy with those 5 well fitted. Yeah, works well. I have 64 points in the Mooncalf. I opted to put no points in the tenacity, not because I don't heavy attack, but because this is the one build where I have decently high stamina recovery, so I decided to put more in a Mooncalf to kind of buff that, since we are investing into it. And a lot of times I am like roll dodging and cloaking out of things, so tenacity does nothing in that situation when I try to gain distance between my enemies while not fighting them, and then while I'm in, it's a very quick exchange. Usually my fights are very quick, and then I'm out and on to the next target, or trying to fight the same target. So tenacity just didn't work that well. 72 in the Warlord really helps with the breaking free, and then 50 in the Sprinter. Like I said, we are roll dodge sprint kind of build with those 5 well fitted. Yeah, that's about it for CP, and that is about it for the entire build. I do hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Take care.